L1NK215 here, Link. Some people know me as L1 a philosopher. I'm here to ask you an important question. What is your Mount Rushmore of the Philly DVD era? I know, man, it's not an easy one to say. Now, here at Hip Hop Lied to Us, a lot of people like to overrate things or underrate it, but we here to tell you the truth. Now you might ask yourself, how the hell did you get to a Mount Rushmore? It took some time, man. A lot of research and going back and reliving a great time in Philly music history. But this is not my top 4 list. I look at Mount Rushmore totally different. It's about the foundation. Who was the people who created more people to come? Who are the 4 faces of the DVD era after it was all said and done? So it's not a personal favorite list. Now I gotta be honest. I didn't ask some people to this list if you already had a major before we seen you or you dominated the DVDs. So like the Cassidys and the Beanie singles, basically state property, they was made men when we see them. This is all the people who created their buzz and their style and their fame because of the era. So again, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Too Raw for the Streets, to I'm Not a Rapper, to the Headshots, to Heavy Spitters, to the Coldest One Ever, and more, hell, 1,000 DVDs I didn't get a chance to name. Who is the first face we're going to talk about? Who is the first pillar? Who was the first star of the DVD era? Let me stop talking, man. Let's start the video. The first person we're talking about today is Cheek Raw, man. Let's talk about it. Top Shotters, Too Raw for the Streets. Cheek Raw was unique. He had that aggression, that style. He even had the punches.
On every DVD, niggas was skipping and fast forwarding to Cheek Raw part, man.
Yep, I did.
Niggas was, come on, man.
Even had wars in the city. You know, Top Shotters was warring with the Go Getters, with basically Cheek Raw versus Quilly. But when you think of Cheek's name, you know what pops in your mind. Come on. It's the alleyway wearing the white beater. Come on, man. Come on, man. Next to vodka, man. Come on, bro. Frying dudes like LeBron on the baseline. Come on, man.
That's it. You feel me?
Yeah, the best
I'm
start banking
niggas like Bishop and Juice. Yeah. I'm the niggas scared of. Bitches ain't like me in that Cutlass Sierra. So I got the truck with the lights on the mirror.
We all remember it. Cheek Raw was unique. He was the first star we got off of the DVD era. It depends on how old you is. Like, I'm back in the day that we had a VHS, but if you had that DVD, you fast forward to that part. Right, the Cheek, you want to hear every bar. That's how unique he was, man. We didn't know that much about Cheek unless he was from his neighborhood. That was our first introduction to him. So again, he is our first star that came out of that era. He became a hood celebrity and a legend. And still today, that freestyle made him a legend, and he will never die because of it. Shout out to Cheek Raw, man. The next face I want to talk about is Joey Jihad. Joey was special because he came at a unique time, definitely in the DVD scene. See, he even stated in his mixtape, Don't Watch Me, Watch TV, we said in 9-9 they want to sound like Beans, and last year they want to sound like Cass, but now they want to sound like me. He was letting you know that he had his own unique style. He's sounding himself. Now, don't get me wrong. Honestly, a lot of people in Philly have their own style, unique style. They don't sound like nobody else. But only a couple guys was mimic with their style. And Hattie, for me, was the biggest person who was mimic in that DVD era. He was bringing bounce and snapping on the beat to the point other people was doing that. First, it started of people warring against Hattie, so they using it to flip it on them. So that's how they was actually rapping on the beat. Everybody remember the classic Dollaz freestyle. And this is people outside the city. We remember everything. People outside of Philadelphia remember that freestyle. They hold it highly up. It's one of the greatest Philly freestyles ever. But that's a D Jones diss that's rapping on the touchy beat and a cadence of Joey Jihad. That's how impactful he was. It's like he was the guy. When he did that in the all-white hoodie, how we talked about Cheek Raw having a wife beater, Hattie in that headshot all-white hoodie was different, man.
But when Hattie came out, bro, Hattie came out like a freak of nature, bro. Like, everybody was talking about Hattie.
Samuel had to round up. They told him he needed a special unit.
Exactly.
This who I'll go get. Cash, large.
Cassidy Large. Well,
They got him in the cut. Joey Jihad.
It was different. Leave that man alone. And that man been through wars. He warred with Frankie with the Grippers, warred with Reed Dollaz. He warred with Quilly Mills, Meek Mills, hell, even D Jones. He had battles with everybody. Battle in Cicero, battle in Murder Mook, battle in Dose. There's a statement of Oskino letting us know that Hattie and Meek was going at it for an hour in the rain. Just wouldn't stop. And Hattie was the guy at the time, but Meek was still going back and forth for an hour. He's from the era when you had to rap till you die. And he didn't die. He rapped.
I came across on YouTube.
Okay.
So all the people you battled from the city, like all the people that everybody would say was hot, who was the toughest, you know, or the craziest joint you been? Like, what's a story you could share from them?
Joey Jihad. Joey Jihad was the hardest. That nigga, he was the first battle I ever had that I was actually kind of like nervous, dog. I ain't gonna lie, cause he was hot.
And for that, man, that's why he made it on my Mount Rushmore. Shout out to Hattie. The next person I want to talk about, the next face, is Reed Dollaz, Southwest Philly, the General, the 36 Trolley. Talk to me, man.
Dog, everybody knew what it was. Every night you gonna hear Daquan rapping Reed Dollaz. So, I started the verse off. You can see the bitch in the nigga with a pump in his mouth. Kill a whole fucking family, then pump in the house. Wipe the fingerprints off. Throw the pump on the couch. Whatever's left of them handguns, I'm dumping them out.
Reed was special. He came in that same time as Hattie when the DVD era started to change, when it was multiple DVDs now coming out, and he was one of the names you would need to move the units. He was unique, just like the two Mount Rushmore people we already talked about, Cheek and Hattie, but he was like a good mixture. What I mean by that is he had the aggression and the lines, and he was good jumping on the freestyles on the DVDs, and he was good on his songs. He's rap on beats very well on his track and CDs and stuff. But what made him more special, or more different, I should say, is he was the last person from that era, at that time, you wanted to stand in front of with no beat and a camera there. Talk about a battle setting.
All the rap DVDs and shit, we was going through it with Reed Dollaz. I'm talking about, he was dropping shit on us. I'm in the house with my own homies. They like, man, this nigga is killing you right now. And I'm screaming to my homies, man, y'all dick riding this nigga, man. He coming at all of us.
He was doing some different stuff at 16 and 17 people wasn't doing. He made grown men look amateur. When Big Star took him up to New York, he was embarrassing people. When he went to different parts of the city, he was embarrassing people. To the point, that's why he has such of a big impact on battle rap currently.
You feel me? You know you got in the right. You know, like you see some niggas ain't. I got a song with Beans now. He not the Broad Street bully right now like he used to be. I still beat this Reed Dollaz.
That's a fact.
Back in high school, remember, like before YouTube, like.
Some facts.
Come on, like don't act like y'all don't know. Come on.
Right, in the current era, that he can take what he did for the DVD era and people want to see how it translates to this era. And he has some good bouts as well, has some respectable victories off of people who are super elite. So Reed Dollaz is just unique. He was able to take that part. But Reed Dollaz, even on the beat, one of the best freestylers we had that could jump on the DVDs and just go in and creating probably the best diss mixtape we heard out the city. I guess the argument would be between Joey Jihad's The Get Back and Reed Dollaz Addressing All Problems. That thing was crazy. What he did on Ether, coming at Cheek and come on, man. What are we talking about? He had the wars like everybody else. Warring with Cheek, warring with Hattie, warring with Rain Man. it was big names and competitions, you know. All the DVDs he jumped on. He was the guy. He was the youngin. He was the general. He was Reed Dollaz. The last face we're going to talk about today is Meek Mills, man. Bloodhounds, Headshots, Grand Hustle. Remember that, man? Meek is special because he's the one who made it. He's the one that started making millions. He's the one that had the hottest chick in the game wearing his chain. He was changing people's life with prison reform, but we here to talk about the beginning. Before he met T.I., before he met Ross. We talking about the DVD era. Remember how I said Cheek Raw had the wife beaters? And Joey Jihad had the all-white headshot hoodie? And Reed Dollaz had the Ace hat? Well, Meek had the nappy braids. Don't act different, guys. Y'all know he had them Jones. Them Jones was crazy, man. He had like permanent frizz on top of the braids. They just wouldn't stop. It's like he had a fro on top of the braids, you know. It felt like he could take a pick and start picking the frizz to make it more fro-y like, you know what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, man, Meek was a monster.
No, dude. And we was trying to get Sis to come to the block. The battle had for the hottest in the city. So Reek asked Bob, honestly, I want your honest opinion. Who hotter? Meek, you know, he said, who hotter? Sis or Had? And then Bob looked at the camera and looked at Reek and said, Meek Mill.
When Meek jumped on them DVDs, he had solid flows and cadence, and he didn't stop. He had his wars as well, warring with, of course, the biggest war of the city, Reed versus Meek. It then warring with Hattie, Quilly, a lot of people. The diss records was crazy. Even him battling face to face. He did it all. He's the greatest representation of the DVD era. Because of his existence and him being so successful now, it will never die. He is permanently linked, or we as the DVD era is permanently linked to his success. The further he goes, the longer he stays relevant and leaves an impact on hip hop, that DVD era will never die. So shout out to Meek Mills, man. And while he was on his rise, that was kind of around the same time the DVD era was taking a little nosedive. I mean, Headshots wasn't the same no more. Big Star left. Ant was really doing a lot of good stuff with We Run the Streets, The Wire series. That was good. But DVDs as a whole wasn't as the number one thing as the internet started coming out. YouTube started getting more popular and people uploading all the freestyles on there. So Meek really represented the last hurrah of the DVD era. So again, I want to say thank you to Cheek Raw. Thank you to Joey Jihad. Thank you to Reed Dollaz. Thank you to Meek Mills. That is my Mount Rushmore of the Philly DVD era. What is yours, man? Please let me know. Thumbs it up, thumbs it down, like it, don't like it, don't tell a friend, but tell a friend though. I know you gotta tell somebody, bro. Share it, do whatever, bro. Stir it, whatever the new terminology is, because I want this to live forever. Whatever the new app or whatever the next thing we make that we won't call apps no more, won't be application, whatever that is, do whatever the positive part of that is. Like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna start making up words now. Unify. Oh, I don't know. Let me stop talking, man. Look, thank you for tuning in. Please follow the journey. I'm just trying to give my letter to the city, trying to give my letter to the culture, and I just want to give my thoughts to you. And I hope you give your thoughts back. And I will catch y'all in the next video.